Hello everyone, thank you for watching my video. This is the Simply Simly channel. My name is Dee, and this is Spontaneous Simulation Sundays, where we play a Sims game that is not The Sims, but Sims-like. So we're playing Medieval Dynasty. We played one episode already, so let's dive on in. I think it just continues from where we last left off, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, okay, so here's our little house that we're building. All right, let's see. So I think what I need to go do is I actually need to go hunting first because we don't have any food left. I think the previous night my character ate all of the duck that we had. So we're going to go out here and we're going to get some more duck. Ooh, butterfly. No. Flew too close to the sun. Got burned. Okay. Sorry. Oh, man. It's depressing. All right. Well, maybe if we go along the beach a little bit. Okay. That's okay. Okay. I see the birds are repopulating over there. Try to get too close. Just inch forward. No big deal. Okay. Sorry. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. Oh, you've got to be joking. Oh, I'm so upset. We don't have any more spears. So we're going to have to make some more. Just take it out on the spruce. Hey, Spruce, how's it going? Timber. Oh, okay. So now we're gonna make a spear. Oh, yeah. I am so sorry, though. I don't throw it into the water. I made that mistake before. When I threw it into the water, like, I never got my spear back. So we're not doing that here. Sparse supply. Go drink some water. All right, and then we forge ahead. Oh gosh, I don't know why I made this decision, because now we're just gonna all stand here like a fun loading screen, but it's us just walking into the water. We're just like flying through the trees and picking up sticks as we run. Just kidding, no we're not, because I'm too slow with my hand-eye coordination. Yeah. Nice. It's just so satisfying. We need more logs. New level extraction. Okay, we'll get to those too. Wait. Thank you, log. Thank you, tree, for giving your life so that I could build this home. Much appreciated. Sticks. Some sticks while we're at it. Now we have 45 sticks and a shit ton of weight that we cannot carry. We're coming for you, house. Don't you worry, you're gonna be built today, baby. You're gonna be built in no time. 15 minutes in and we've gotten water, killed ducks, and walked across here to build a house. Oh, come on. We'll make it. Wait. Do you see what I see? See another one over there to the left. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. And while we're at it too, we should also just craft a new log. I didn't think about that at the time, but we'll do that. I mean, not a new log. Yep, we're going to craft a log. We're not going to use the tree. We're going to become the tree. We're so close. Okay. Nice. Okay. Okay. Nice. It's official, man. Yay! We built our first home. Okay, so it says, chapters are a series of missions that appear at the beginning of the game and introduce you to the game mechanics. It also assists you in the initial stages of your new settlement construction. Completing chapters allows you to unlock the next development stage, which determines the maximum level of buildings you can construct. So, awesome. I don't know if we need to tab over into knowledge or anything, but that was plenty of information. I feel like that was helpful. So we've completed our first chapter, and now we're on to being a survivalist, which means that we have to set a rabbit trap, a wooden spear. We have to create a wooden spear, which we've already done. We have to create a stone knife, hunt a wild animal, and survive for an entire season. What time do we have? Okay, we have like 10 minutes, so we're gonna scoot on back out here. And then our other mission too is to talk to Dobringa, so I think that we need to do that. I think it's Dobringa, but we said we were gonna call her Debbie. Sorry, Debbie, I just can't get your name right to save my life, whether it's correct or not. eat something. Our dude is like super hungry, so we have some dried meat. Eat some of that. Most of it, actually. Wish we could eat a feather. Okay, and let's go talk to Debbie. Oh, that was the noise that he made. It freaked me out at first. I was like, excuse me? What the hell is that? Again, here I am going through water. This is riveting stuff, isn't it? Don't you feel so much better for knowing that this exists? I don't see any birds. Did I kill them all? Has the population diminished since I've been here last? This is Debbie. Everyone, meet Debbie. Hi, Deb. What's going on, girl? I realized in the last video that I didn't change my voice at all, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I can, so here we go. So, hi, you're Debbie, right? Nice to meet you. I'm Rakmir. And Debbie says, hello. What can I help you with? Oh, I think I did this in the wrong order. Already crushing it. Debbie, that's right. Nice to meet you, Rakmir. What brings you to me? Unigast told me that you can fix me up with some food. I haven't eaten a proper meal in weeks. Debbie says, well, it depends what proper means to you, but I can offer you something warm and filling. Rakmir says, that sounds more than amazing. Debbie says, there you go. Now tell me something about yourself. How do you know my husband? Rakmir says, there's nothing much to say, really. I just arrived at the valley looking for my uncle, Lorden. Didn't expect to be done searching so quickly, to be honest. And Debbie says, oh yes, he was Unigast's friend. I remember now hearing that he had eyes just like yours. I'm sorry for your loss. And Rakmir says, that's okay. I don't even remember him, really. Most that I know about him is from my mother's stories. She always looked up to her big brother, loved him ferociously, even when he stopped visiting. Debbie said, a lot of people did, from what I've heard. There was something special about him. Rakmir says, yeah, tough shoes to fill, huh? Debbie says, the only shoes that you need to worry about filling are your own. Every man is the architect of his own fortune. And Rakmir says, thank you for saying that. It's what I needed to hear. But let's not talk about me anymore. What's your story? And Debbie says, I was part of a traveling band of troubadours? The treble clefs. Where's that from? I've never managed to learn how to play any instrument, but I was pretty decent with my singing. Our travels brought us to the valley not long after the death of your uncle. I still remember seeing Unigasts for the first time. Unigast. This is the first time that she hasn't put an S at the end of his name, which makes sense because we're not talking about him owning anything. Apostrophe S. He had so much madness in his eyes. Lorden wasn't just a friend of his, he was part of him. The band left a few days later. I stayed. There was something in Unigist's presence that I remember that I simply knew my place was by his side. You probably noticed the age difference. No, not really, said Rakmir. Debbie said, what? Are you implying that I look old? And Rakmir says, nothing of the sorts. Anyway, so it looks like you were anchored here by love. That's pretty amazing. Debbie said, yeah, you could call it that. Or blindness, or stupidity, or judgment, maybe. Whatever sounds best to you. Rakmir said, pretend all you like. You fell hard for the grandpa with sad eyes, and you know it. And Debbie said, I did. He annoys me sometimes, like nobody else, yet I can't imagine breathing without him now. But don't let me go all soft on you. You surely got someplace to go. Rakmir says, it was a pleasure talking with you, Debbie. Every second of it. And Debbie said, here, I know it's not much, but it will come in handy when starting a new life. Everything costs coin these days. Man, Debbie, speaking from the heart, and this was when? I don't think that this game is historically accurate. And then Rakmir says, I really appreciate that, but I'm not looking for a charity. I'll manage. And Debbie said, oh, come on. Don't try to be a hero. Men. All right. Do something for me then. It won't be a handout, just your first pay. Rakmir says, that I can agree on. What do you need? Debbie said, there's a farmer in the village. She's called Jargonuia. She usually supplies the tavern with rye, but I haven't got anything from her in a while. My stock is almost gone, and you don't even want to imagine what would happen to these people when we run out of beer. And Rakmir says, consider it done. While we're speaking of beer, Unigist asked me to grab a couple for us. Debbie said, of course, here you go. Rakmir says, great, thank you. He promised to tell me some stories about Lorden. Debbie said, oh, I see. Well, in that case, she must have handed him more. Thank you. So we talked to Debbie. Lovely to meet you, Deb. And then it's saying, you know, we should share our beers with Unigist. We might as well. We just have to find him. I wonder if he's like back at his like place. Deliver ale to Unigist. Okay. Uni, where are you? Oh, I see him walking ever so scary towards me. Hi, okay, slow down. Hold on, Unigist. Just, can you back the fuck up? So Unigist says, Rakmir. Rakmir says, hey, Unigist. You're looking at the proud house owner from the valley, and I'm back bearing beers. Oh, that's fun. Unigist says, a job well done indeed. All right, let me wet my throat with this amber goodness and start reminiscing. I knew Lorden for 22 years before he died. He was my best friend and truest friend, a brother actually. I remember the day we met as if it was yesterday. I was 25 at the time, living in the big city of Jellenberg. Jellen. Do you remember that commercial? He's Jellen. Jellen.
Hey, Ellen, you jellin'?
I'm gelling like a felon. You want some melon?
Okay. Where I was born. You could say I hated that place, but still, it was the only home I ever knew. Maybe someday I'll tell you more about that. Anyway, I was forced to take care of my own, so I did. Doing the only thing I could do, stealing. Ma'am? Nothing like, you know, it happens in The Sims and it happens in this game. They just walk right in front of you, like you aren't even fucking talking to anybody. Rakmir says, you were a thief? He just says, I was, and a bloody good one, if I might say. Picking pockets was my bread and butter. I could steal a piece of steak right from your fork, and you wouldn't even notice. It wasn't greed that motivated me, just survival. But I'd be lying if I said I didn't enjoy the process. And then Rakmir says, stealing is still a crime, no matter the motivation. You just said, I'd say you'll want to wait and hear a bit more before getting all high and mighty on me. Rakmir says, I'm sorry, go on. It's going to get real dark here real quick, so sorry. Great scenery, right? You can really see it, and I don't want to overexpose it, so we're just going to stand here and have this conversation, I guess. Una just said, we had an annual festival at Jellenberg. It always brought a whole bunch of outsiders to town. You can imagine what that meant for a man in my profession. I could do a day's worth of work in a matter of minutes. I grabbed a few coins here and there, some jewelry, a pair of new boots, and then I saw a nobleman with a money bag strapped to his belt. It was basically begging to be set free. I sneaked behind him in the crowd, like I did 1,000 times before, child's play. I gently grabbed the pouch, did a little shimmy magic, and there it was, sitting neatly in my palm. Just needed to turn around and disappear like always, and then wham! Rakmir said, what happened? Una just said, I was punched in the face by what felt like a bull, and I was so shocked I didn't even realize what happened until I hit the ground. My head was pounding. I could barely see straight. And do you know what was the first thing I saw next? Rakmir says, another blow coming? Una just said, haha, no. A smile. A big, radiant smile on the face of the man with two different eyes. It was your Uncle Lorden. The one I took for a nobleman. He stuck his hand out, helped me get up, and offered me a beer. Wait, he did realize you were trying to rob him, right? You just said, of course he did. Rakmir said, I don't get it. You just said, that's just how Lorden was. You see, your uncle was deadly clever, smartest man I've ever known, hands down. He could see the world like nobody else, predict things. He was always at least a dozen steps ahead of anyone else. So on a rare occasion that somebody surprised him, he was intrigued. Rakmir said, and he wasn't expecting you? Una just said, indeed. Apparently, even despite my failure, I was still the one that came the closest to robbing him, and he liked that. Rakmir says, so I'm guessing you accepted his invitation, right? You just said, I didn't really have a choice, did I? I was terrified of the guy at that moment, so we went. He took me to the most expensive and most crowded tavern in the whole town. Remember that it was the day of the festival. Even entering that place was next to impossible. He didn't seem to care, though. In a matter of seconds, we were sitting at the table being serviced by two barmaids. They bring the beer. Barmaids at the same time. It was surreal. In my mind, there was only one explanation. He owned the place. Rakmir. And he did? You just said, not at all. It was the first time in Jellenberg. It all felt like a dream, to be honest, especially with me still being dazed after the punch. I was still sure he was a nobleman. His manners, his clothes, the way he talked and moved, and then he chugged a beer like it was a race. wiped the side of his face with a sleeve, and burped like a drum. He went from the Lord to savage like that. Snap fingers. I relived that moment a dozen times until I realized why he did that. It wasn't a mistake. Oh no. No laziness, no moment of weakness. He wanted me to see it, to understand it. Rakmir says, understand what? You just said that he was full of crap. You see, Rakmir, your uncle was one of a kind. He was a true master of arms, and his weapons of choice was his confidence. Rakmir says, what does that even mean? You just said, imagine a closed door with 2 armed guards at its side, and you want what's inside. What are your options? You can force yourself in, bribe the guards, trick to pick a pocket, try to trick to pick a pocket. Try saying that 10 times faster, but it's a tongue twister. I can't even say the first. Okay. Trick to pick a pocket. Trick to pick a pocket. Yeah, that's fun. Definitely try that. Try to pick a lock. But Lorden, he just holds his head up high, walks right in, and demands the door to be opened. I'm gonna be straight with you. That sounds all made up. Una just says, haha, it surely does, huh? I and a pack were the only ones that have seen behind the scenes of Lorden's show, and even for us, it was unbelievable at times. And Rakmir says, wait, the pack? He just says, oh dear Rakmir, there is so much more you still don't know. Our story hasn't even really begun, but it's getting late. Rakmir says, come on, you can't just leave me hanging like that. Una just says, all right, I'm going to tell you a bit more. After that beer we had a couple more. Then some mead, if I remember correctly. We were talking about our past, our dreams, convictions. Started making some drunk and absurd plans. I thought we were joking, to be honest. The next thing I remember is waking up in silk sheets. Rakmir said, I'm guessing they weren't yours, correct? You just says, are you kidding? It was the first time I even touched fabric like that. The ceiling in the chamber was so high, it could fit a giant. I thought I was dreaming. Then the servants walked in. I was ready to flee. But instead of fighting me, they presented me with breakfast. Rakmir says, really? How come? Una just said, it was all Lorden's doing. I've never found out how he managed to pull it off. Whenever I asked, he just burst into laughter, even years after. Needless to say, I left Jellenberg with him on that day, the first time I went outside of the town's walls, and never came back. That was the day the pack was born. And 3 years later, there were 5 of us, a real team, a family. We called ourselves the Reminders. Rakmir says, oh, how I wish I could be there. It all sounds incredible. I've never had adventures like that, and probably never will. Una just says, easy, my boy. It wasn't always fun and lovely, but it's a tale of another time. It really did get late, and I'm sure you still have a lot of work to do. Come and find me tomorrow. We'll talk some more. And Rakmir says, I'll do that. Thank you, Unigist, for everything. Walked right into her face. Okay, so we'll wait for the next day, and we'll come on back, and then we'll go from there. First time in our home. Light a fire. We can't cook anything, but hey, we got a little fire. Got a little home. So cute. All right, so we said we were going to talk to Unigist. Yeah, that's his name. Would I ever want to live in medieval times? Absolutely not. Do I love games about medieval times? Yes, I do. Hey, can we talk through here? Where are you going? Wait.
It was nice seeing you.
Is that not Unigist? That is.
It was nice seeing you.
Isn't it the next day? Maybe it's like the next evening. Okay, well... Okay, I think I'm going to end it here. Next time we'll do Debbie's kind of storyline and try to figure out what's going on with her rye. Thank you so much for watching if you did, and I hope to see you in the next Spontaneous Simulation Sundays. And as usual, keep it simple, and I'll see you in the next video.